Good morning, students. It is Tuesday, May the 5th. Some of you may have noticed, and if you weren't paying attention to previous videos, that I have not posted anything on Monday as I usually do. So, for those who didn't catch it yesterday, I'm basically flipping my schedules in order to make things a little easier on myself with household and family obligations. So remember, guys, stuff will get posted on Thursday, Friday of each week. And since there are no real due dates, it just means that that's when you guys can look for it. That way you have the weekend to try it, and then you have the bunch of days following before the next Thursday, Friday, where I have all those various half-hour office hours that you can come in and get more assistance from me or ask clarifying questions. Please keep in mind, of course, that the only due date that exists anymore is the May 28th one, that last day of the semester, or the school year, actually. Alright, so let's get to the coronavirus news. So first things first is a letter was given out to the teachers. I'm sure it will be going out to families sometime soon as well, but basically what it says is that a worker, one of the school district employees at Escada Elementary, has tested positive for COVID-19, and that the people in immediate contact have all been told to self-quarantine and attempt to get tested. So if you have any relatives, any younger siblings that go there, or family members that work there, you might want to be aware of that. Alright, on the next quote-unquote good news, it turns out that coronavirus isn't the only problem. Now we have murder hornets. So, Vespa mandarinia, which are Asian giant hornets and are also known as murder hornets, or the hornets from hell, apparently, are a native Asian one that are known to rip the heads off bees, mash it into a ball of basically bee hamburger, and then bring it back to their hive to eat. So these are apparently the Mad Max version of hornets. So, just because things weren't weird enough. Alright, now to some actual good news. So, the governor of California, Newsom, has begun to modify stay-at-home orders, and we are beginning to see the very first official reopenings that are supported by the state. So, in light of people starting to lose their patience and their ability to handle being stuck at home, they have rolled out a new set of plans for various cities to begin phasing openings of public spaces. So, notably places like Laguna Beach, locally here in San Clemente, have both received official permission from the state of California to begin a slow and gradual reopening process. So, at least we're seeing some positive progress there. Alright, some more good news. Italy, which was one of the worst hit countries hit by coronavirus because of an aging population and an insufficient medical system, even though theirs was still per capita better than ours, which really still doesn't bode well, has begun to open up. So they have seen a massive reduction of new infections. So it gives us a kind of the most important thing for the United States is it gives us a sense of a timeline of when you get the wave of crushing deaths before you can begin a gradual turnaround. So the trick will be to watch what happens in Italy, see if they can avoid a resurgence, and see if the 2-month shutdown is roughly the right maneuver. Alright, so for a combination of history and econ and government, we have a bit from a interview the president did where he claimed that bailouts, quote-unquote, were unfair to the GOP since states needing aid were run by Democrats in every case. Basically because most of the states that have been hit hardest at the moment by coronavirus are ones that have current Democratic governors. Keep in mind, no state has ever only had Democratic governors. There have been plenty that have only had Republican, but no Democrat-only ones. President Trump has claimed that it's not okay for Congress to spend a bunch of federal government money to bail out these states. Now, the thing to keep in mind is he claims that these states need help because they have failed in their budgets. Now, here's why this is factually wrong. California, which is the most important state in the union in economic terms. Our economy is larger than like the bottom 30 states combined. We were actually operating at a surplus. We had a $25 billion surplus that we were going to have at the end of the fiscal year. So we actually had balanced the budget and were making money. That, of course, was before the coronavirus froze the California economy. So that's the first factual problem. The second factual problem is that this is ignoring the history, and this is where you sophomores should pay attention, the historical sense of bailouts. Because most of the states that make most of the money for America are ones that tend to lean liberal, progressive, democratic. We actually put more money into the federal government than other states do. For instance, California pays more money into the federal government than the next state and almost the next state after that. New York and Texas combined just barely pay out more money to the federal government than the state of California does. By comparison, all of the poorest states that take the most money from the federal government are all traditionally conservative Republican states. So this is where having an understanding of the economics of the United States, its governmental policies, which is why anytime someone complains to me about socialism, I just point out the states are already socialist, especially the conservative ones. And of course, this also goes into the historical attitudes and historical dependence. All right, last thing, guys, a bit on the nose, but here's your escapism option for today. This is a brand new one. It's actually being in development. It's called Endzone: A World Apart. So it is a post-apocalyptic sim builder. So think of it like SimCity, except post-apocalyptic Mad Max. So it's currently in development, meaning that the game changes as it goes. It's still in a roadmap. Obviously, the real-life pandemic has slowed down this fictional version of one. But for those of you guys who enjoy those kinds of simulation games or city builders with a bit of strategy and survival added in, or you just want to have a laugh at a fictional group of people trying to survive an apocalypse, there you go. Alright guys, I will see you tomorrow.